The end is near, if you will.
Well, Jerry just reminded me that we're in week 0, and I think there's 6 college football games this Saturday, so it is here. And when you're going through this and you've gone through a long training camp, you still have to make every day count. And we're still in the infant stages of building our identity, our fundamentals, our details. Today was more Red Wolves versus Red Wolves. We'll get into more UCA as the week goes on, but there's still a lot of fundamental development that is left. But again, first day of school, I thought our players, the way they approached the day, the energy, it was a very productive practice for us.
Having more time to kind of look at the video from the Saturday scrimmage, what else stood out to you that maybe you just didn't see initially?
Well, it's pretty much what we saw. It still gets back to being able to make the routine plays routinely, and that's something that's missing. And so that's something from an execution standpoint, a consistency standpoint that we got to continue to hone on with one more week left until it becomes real. And then there becomes consequences. There's consequences for missed assignments. There's consequences for lack of fundamentals and details in winning football. But I thought it was one of the most physical scrimmages we've had since we've been here. I like our kids' mentality, but it's the overall discipline to execute, play in and play out. And then I think the other thing is getting all 11 individuals to work together as one.
I wanted to ask you specifically about a couple of guys, one being Courtney Jackson, what he kind of means to you from a receiver standpoint, also punt returns, to have somebody back there you can trust with the football.
I guess the biggest thing I can say, or thing that comes to mind when I think of Courtney Jackson, is a model of consistency. We talk about consistency and performance. High character individual, high competitive character, has come in here in now year 2, and he had many options to leave, and he stayed here. He got his degree from Arkansas State, and he means everything to us, not only from a receiver standpoint, but also from a punt return standpoint. He can change the complexion of the game, and quite simply what we talk about on punt return is we want one first down for the offense. So it's about 10 yards and really getting the offense started until they're not really actually on the field. So punt return is a big part of what we do.
What do you feel like this team has established as its strength so far this fall?
Good question. I think right now our connection, I think our work ethic, we're still working on our capacity for work. I think our tempo has improved greatly. In terms of the 9 position groups, I think that's still ongoing. As you know, you're only one snap away from playing, so I think the competitive depth will really dictate how successful our team is in terms of our overall depth at all 9 position groups.
What's just the approach the next couple of days for you guys?
Yeah, we'll continue to practice. We'll practice Wednesday. We'll have a Thursday practice. We'll hold our mock game, what we call our Beanie Bowl, on Friday, and then we'll give the players Saturday and Sunday off, and then we'll get right into game week on Monday.
What is maybe the most important aspect this week before you get into game week next week?
I think still honing in on the fundamentals and the details, the physicality, the hand violence, tackling. That's, when you really look at first games, it'll be interesting with week 0. It's usually decided by 3 factors: special teams, turnover margin, the turnovers, explosive plays, which really is tackling. So I'm excited to kind of watch some college football and see how that goes. And just the ability to execute, play in and play out. That's in college football, you have no preseason games. Obviously, in the NFL they do, and you can see a lot of sloppy first, second games in preseason. So you have to try to simulate as much live game reps in practice as you can.
Health-wise, is it just the usual bumps and bruises going through fall camp, things like that?
It's ongoing, but just your typical nicks and bruises that go through a long training camp.
I want to ask you about Tim Hardeman, how good of a camp has he had?
Yeah, we've really challenged Timmy here in the last week and a half. He's played a lot of football for us, and he's responded. And, he has to use his size to his advantage, his quickness to his advantage, and continue to elevate his game, and I've seen that.
On kickoff, is that ideally going to be the same guy as your field goal kicker? Could that be by committee this year?
It'll be by committee. Ryan Hiker, too, is kicked off when he was at Saginaw Valley, and so he's in the mix too, and will continue to compete there just like the field goal kicker.
I have a couple of tech questions. I assume On offense, obviously, it's going to be quarterback who's got the communication. On defense, is that Mike? Is it Char?
It's
Is
the
it...
Mike linebacker.
Okay,
Yep.
so whoever's on the field. Will you be able to use that week 1 since you're taking on an FCS?
Yes.
Okay.
So we'll be full go in terms of all the new communication rules. So we'll have the player to coach communication, one on offense, one on defense, and how you're able to know who has that is they'll wear a green sticker on the back. It's a green dot on the back of their helmet. You can never have 2 green dot helmets. So from a game management standpoint, your starting quarterback's got to have 2 helmets. Your Mike linebacker has to have 2 helmets. And then the iPads, which we practiced last scrimmage, we'll have those in full motion too for the first game.